secrets dance through the air and prank a few goblins with glitter and flair. By candlelight they scribble spells, hide in books and tower bells, trading charms and glowing stones, laughing like lightning, rattling bones. Wings and whiskers, claws and flare, sparkling misfits beyond compare. No one else can match their spin. The night begins when they jump in. Vampire girls and cat girls unite, fangs and fur in the pale moonlight, spinning through stars, leaping over trees. Best friend magic on a midnight breeze. One's got charm and a gothic glow, the other's all sass with a ninja flow. Vampire girls and cat girls, oh please, who needs sleep when you've got nights like these?
Hello everyone. It's Belladonna Nightshade. Wonderful to see you all. Fantastic. And Tom said it's a bit like the Spice Girls. Yeah, I think it's cooler. Much cooler. But I'm a little biased. So, yeah, that was fun to make. A couple ladies, lovely ladies on X. I'm always posting different images with them. And so, Spicy she has a X account and Twitch account at Spicy Autist, and she has what's called her Spicy Autist Bakery. So really cute. And the redhead is Cynthia, and she just makes adorable cat girl pictures that I love. I call her my queen. So. So yeah, Queen Cynthia, the Katsu Nation tribe, yeah. So yeah, today was an interesting day. I was figuring out some different stuff, and little bits here and there popped up, and I'm gonna need help from the Brits to help explain to me some of the stuff about why they're going against Keir Starmer in the UK, the Prime Minister there. And a lot of it seems to have to do with his welfare reform program. So we'll get into that too. Then I'll ask you to explain it all to me, because I'm looking at it and it's like, well, if you wanted to reform it, the way you're doing it isn't the way to do it. But of course, it's all against the indigenous people, not the real problem with the rising costs. Okay, so there was some interesting things in the news. Let's see here. What do I have? This seems really weird. Trump was at the NATO summit, and Rutte, something like that. The head of NATO right now, that's in charge there, the big dog, I guess, at NATO. He had he was talking with Trump, and he said this. Let's see.
I mean, we may do papers on it, Marco. Maybe we're going to do papers. I don't even know if you need them.
Hold on. Let me see. Okay, there we go. I'll start again. A little bit of a delay there.
I mean, we may do papers on it, Marco. Maybe we're going to do papers. I don't even know if you need them. They're not going to be fighting each other. They've had it. They've had a big fight, like two kids in a schoolyard. You know, they fight like hell. You can't stop them. Let them fight for about 2-3 minutes. Then it's easy to stop them.
And then Daddy has to sometimes use strong language.
You have to use strong language. Every once in a while you have to use a certain word.
So, I thought I understood that. Rutte, whatever the hell his name is, said, was referring to Trump acting like a daddy. He wasn't calling him a daddy. He just saying, like a father has to step in between two children. Well, I don't know. Everybody's reporting that Rutte here was calling Trump daddy, and Lawrence says weak. And then Trump And then there was this, I don't know, this reporter. I thought it was really embarrassing, but let's listen to her talking about it.
Go ahead, give my mic. Hello.
Deborah Haynes from Sky News.
Good.
Mark Rutte, the NATO chief, who
Mark.
is your
Rutte.
friend, he called you daddy earlier. Do you regard your NATO allies as kind of children?
No, he likes me. I think he likes me. If he doesn't, I'll let you know. I'll come back and I'll hit him hard, okay? No?
Do you
He did it very affectionate. Daddy, you're my daddy.
Do you regard your NATO allies, though, as kind of like children, and they're obviously listening to you and they're spending more, and you're obviously appreciative of that, but do you hope that actually they're going to be able to defend
Look at
themselves,
his Trump's
defend you?
face. And Alan says he thought his message was private. But again, I just thought it was an analogy. I didn't think he was calling him daddy. And then the female Sky News reporter has to get all infantile and talking to Trump, and look at his face. Him calling you daddy. Do you think of the NATO members as your child? How infantile, wasn't it? Let's see. That's Sky News, Alan says for you. Yeah. They seem to do crap like this a lot, these news media, mainstream media people. They're very infantile in their thinking to begin with. And Lauren says, Rutte, the Trump whisperer. But I took it as just an analogy, like a father stepping in between, not him, Rutte, calling Trump daddy. So, and then you have to be infantile about it. Are all the NATO members your children? Do you think of them that way? But then Trump says, "Oh, get me out of here! Get me out of here!" Let's see what else we have. We have this for, I don't know if you in the UK know about this, but, back when Elon Musk was becoming, took part in the, Department of Government Efficiency, DOGE, before he stepped down, well, there was this big scandal about, this 19-year-old who called himself Big Balls. And he said things probably like unfortunate and crap that no one liked, and so they try to destroy this kid's life. So, but yeah, I even made a song about it, Big Balls. Well, it turns out that Big Balls is stepping down from his job today. And he's 19 years old and just a kid, so let me play this clip for you.
Well, people on LinkedIn take themselves like super seriously,
Yeah, there
and
you
they're
go.
very adverse to risk. And I was like, well, I want to be neither of those things. So I said it, and honestly, I didn't even think anyone would notice.
Yeah.
So what do you
LinkedIn
do?
is so cringe.
What, what does Big Balls do?
Right now, I'm working on some payment computer stuff. So one of our initiatives is to root out fraud and waste. And to do that, we started looking at the payment computers. And as mentioned earlier, there is no accounting of what payments actually go to in the payment computer. So,
Let's see.
you look at a
I don't
specific
see,
line,
Darren.
like $20 million. And you're like, okay, well, what is this money going to? And for the majority of payment
Okay, and this is obvious before he left, but this is a 19-year-old. Yeah, no dumbass. He's far smarter than any of those mainstream media reporters. But so I was playing a little bit more, but this was like the interview after he got in trouble, and then they tried to cancel him, then he stepped down, and then they brought him back in and said, 19-year-old kid, he should get a second chance. So it was kind of like, screw this cancel culture crap at the time, which was a
systems,
big
it's
step.
well, we don't really know. And
Yeah, like, what? That would be the response.
Is this the most basic responses?
Yeah,
yeah.
that's the most common response.
What do you say when people just say, I don't know?
Well, it's a huge cause for concern because, the upstream thing, which is distributing the money, literally has no checks. and no accountability to the actual American taxpayer. So it's a huge vector for fraud, waste, and abuse.
Do these people not respect taxpayer money?
I mean, there's no incentive to if you work in the government.
Again, 19-year-old, you know? And so he stepped down today. He's moving on to something else, no more big balls at Doge. So Doge lost a lot of balls now that he stepped down. But it looks like the kind of kid, you know, in those computer systems and stuff that you want in there doing this stuff. So that was interesting. And yeah, I had a song about big balls is the hero we need. And so let's see. What else we had in the news today? And all right, this here. Nope, wrong file. Yeah. Oh, this is in New York City. This was surprising. They had the Democratic primary, and Lawrence, I didn't see Barron Trump at the table, but yeah, just to answer your question. But New York City had their Democratic primary, and it was the mass murderer Andrew Cuomo, and yeah, he is a mass murderer. He was running against a foreign-born communist, self-proclaimed communist from Uganda. Let's see, named Zoran Mamdani. Sounds Persian to me. Zoran Mamdani. But I saw something about him coming from Uganda. I don't know. So Andrew Cuomo lost the Democratic primary for New York City, and this fellow here, let me put his picture here. This person here will be the Democrat person who'll be running for mayor in the final election. And hi, Philip. Philip says, Bella, hi, Philip. I'm so glad that you could join. And so he'll be the contestant, or whatever you want to call him, the candidate for mayor for the Democrat Party, which tends to run everything. They haven't had a Republican Party since a Republican mayor since Rudy Giuliani. What does that go back to? The late 2000s or the late 90s? Probably 2000s. And then they kind of ran him out, even though he did an excellent job, brought law and order back. And I think all this crap is about bringing down prices in New York City, because they did it in the 70s and the 80s. New York City was a complete hellhole back then. Then they allow a Republican to get in and straighten everything out. And they've already bought up all the properties for cheap. And then the properties go skyrocketing. Then they do another round of destroying everything. And yeah, Lord says he's the one who calls for globalized intifada. He should be arrested for promotion of terrorism and deported. So I had this news article here, and we'll play that. And it'll give you a little bit. He was a rapper, you know, quote unquote rapper, because he sucked at that too. Let's see. What? Alright, popped up there. So,
बात ये है कि मैं क्या करूंगा हमारे कम्युनिटीज के लिए और हर एक न्यूयॉर्कर के लिए। मैं हमारे शहर को अफोर्डेबल बनाऊंगा। न्यूयॉर्कर्स मुश्किल से अफोर्ड कर रहे हैं रोटी, कपड़ा और मकान। मैं ये सब बदलने के लिए लड़ रहा हूँ। रेंट फ्री बसेस, यूनिवर्सल चाइल्ड केयर और सस्ती
everything free.
पर आपको एक सवाल पूछना चाहता हूँ, तुमने कभी किसी को वोट किया?
Because I think that New Yorkers, more than they hate a politician they disagree with, they hate a politician they can't trust.
On the subject of trust, you've adopted
you can
different
trust the
speaking accents in different scenarios.
Yeah, commies are very trustworthy.
Is there one that's real and one that's affected?
What I would say is, as any immigrant knows, having been born in Kampala, Uganda, and then raised in South Africa and moving here around 7 years old, is there are different parts of my life.
Worldwide tour is a worldwide tour is a worldwide tour.
Mamdani was talking about a worldwide press tour back when he was a rapper.
Bring the flavor to the fish, bring the flavor to the rice.
in a Disney movie directed by his mother.
Nepotism and hard work goes a long way. Here in New York City, this is how I speak, this is how I am.
You believe in the First Amendment, Tom Holman?
Oh boy. What a winner. What a winner. New York City. Howdy, lady. Oh man. Okay, that's about it. It looks gay too, so yeah, this is what they're gonna get apparently. Because they're most likely gonna vote Democrat anyways, because all the illegals are gonna be able to vote, I'm sure. And Philip says I'm still fighting World War I, Bella. Yeah, you told me that before. Maybe someday World War I will end for you, Philip. Someday, yeah. Let's see. Lawrence's Islamic fifth column, nothing more, nothing less terrorist and communist clothing. Well, he's already telling everything's free. Yeah, why produce anything? 'Cause he's gonna give it all away. Damn commies. Philip says, the definition of evil is arrogance and stupidity. Well, yeah, they come hand in hand, I guess it's part of Dunning-Kruger. You know, especially if you're stupid, is, you don't know any better, you know? You don't know that you're saying it's stupid, and then people try to tell you it's stupid, you get furious and enraged. Because that's another part of stupidity, it's very easy to get angry. Yeah, the lower the IQ, the easier it is to get enraged. How dare you tell me I'm wrong? And Lawrence says, Trump will bomb his falafel van when Dee Dee finds out where he is. Oh man, it doesn't get any worse. You gotta laugh at this stuff. Just clown show, but I think it's all deliberate. It's all about destroying things, and then they buy up the properties for real cheap. And then they start all over, and then they'll bring in a Republican, and law and order, and then they'll run him out. Oh, how dare he, after he fixes everything up, and go right back, and cycle over. So, we're already in that second cycle, they just gotta complete it for New York City. And then the other cities and states like California, yeah, just wash and repeat. So, we'll see. But I thought that was crazy. And I got one other thing for the U.S., and then I'll ask you Brits to explain it. And Philip Payne says, marry me. Okay, Philip, no, I don't think a mistress of a evil vampire, castle is gonna be marrying anybody soon. I do have my brides, but I'm not gay or anything, but I do have my brides, but I don't think I'll be marrying any mortals, so, and I don't need any more, subordinate vampires, so, I hope that doesn't bother you, Philip. Tom's laughing, but yeah, my bride, but we're not gay at all, totally not. It's more like my own wolf pack, but really greedy. And Lawrence says eternal. So let's see. Okay, then we'll talk about the UK. I got questions for you again, but this is weird. And, there was this fellow in the United States he called himself the Libertine, and he made a fortune bragging about that all you need to do to be physically fit and and look like him. Cause yeah, he was all muscled up and everything. It was so obvious this guy was on roids and crap. But yeah, he said all you needed to look like him was to eat raw liver. And so he'd have a big cow liver, whole liver, and he'd be chewing on it in the middle of on his YouTube channel promoting himself. And he had, how to be a man and all different kind of programs and everything. And, and then he had his own, sources of, vitamins and minerals and stuff. And you too could be like the liver king. Well, it was so obvious to most people, except the people buying his supplements, that this guy is all roided up. Cause at his age, you don't have that kind of physique unless you're taking roids. And sure enough, somebody released, his whole schedule. And he was taking huge amounts of roids and stuff, steroids, so it's so obvious, and then everything collapsed. Well, the Liver King, and I'm gonna show this to you. Philip says, I apologize, my dearest Belladonna. Okay, I'll accept your apology, Philip, but you might want to get some of my vampire insurance, if you know what I mean. Slightly impertinent there, Philip. Slightly impertinent, if I must say. But I'll accept it. I'll accept your apology, Philip. Thanks for coming on the stream here and chatting. That's always fun. But yeah, so the Roid King, of course, all on roids, steroids, and he had a whole list that was released to the public. And so I'll play this to you, but now he's gone mad, and he's been going crazy. Just been video after video where he's kind of showing he's gone crazy. So now he's threatening Joe Rogan. He wants attention, obviously, but now he's threatening violence against Joe Rogan, and he got arrested. So I'll play this. Whoops. There we go. All right. It's a little bigger.
Yeah. And these items for you?
I would take that. Afford anything and everything. Because Joe Rogan, we don't have to make videos to pretend anymore. All of this is happening. We're coming to you. I've challenged you man to man to a fight. Honorable. And we don't have to pretend or make any videos. The world is watching. They'll make the videos for us.
Oh,
and,
look at his eyes.
You don't have to hold the camera.
Look at his eyes. Let me go backwards a little. Yeah, notice this pupil is a lot smaller than that pupil. And somebody was saying drunks can't do that, but then another person was saying he was practicing with those exercise bands, and I guess he smacked himself in the eye, so he damaged his eye. He's, as you can tell, he's not the brightest, he didn't make a lot of money, but he's being sued for like $25 million, bragging that they actually could make you look all, roided up like he did naturally. Yeah, just eat your liver, guys. That's
hold the camera. You can hold the hand of somebody that you love, because what happens next to you, you're going to need to remember that feeling. You're going to need something more than what you did to give you something to fight for, because I have my family to fight for. And I'll die for them, you know that. And you're a black belt.
No, don't know that.
You've never come across something like this.
Look at the
willing
hand.
to die, hoping that you'll choke me out. I pray to God, because that's a dream come true. It feels good. And then the limbs, I'm fighting for my family. So limb. Go ahead. But then you have to contend with something else. And I weigh 177 pounds. An actual savage. And so at first you're like, fuck that guy. And right? When you all of a sudden did get your attention, which I already did before this, you're saying, I'm going to choke that motherfucker, that piece of fucking shit. I'm going to choke him out.
Uh-oh.
So what warriors do,
I'm going to
you
get
and
banned
Andrew
now.
Tate are good warrior good.
Okay, we'll cut that out. Yeah, it doesn't get any more sensible. He's just been on a string of Instagram videos apparently, just one after another, threatening that he wants to fight Joe Rogan, Joe Rogan fight me, or I'm coming for you, those are the worst threats, I'm coming for you kind of crap and everything, and none of them make any sense, but it's just like one video after another. So, this guy's gone off the deep end apparently. I guess, he's gonna end up losing everything. Either it's because of drugs, or he's just, have some kind of manic, situation. A lot of these people, a lot of times, you don't find out until later. They already had, even before they became famous, they already had mental issues. So that's another strange thing that's going on at the moment. So let's see, the Liver King. I said, you may not have heard of him, but that's another thing. One of those people that rises up on a false pretense, and they're able to get some people to fall for things. See, and I can't even get a head pat. But Liver King can make tons of millions of dollars. You could get a head pat. You gotta laugh at it. So, let's talk about the UK, and me ignorantly talking about the UK, but I went ahead and, let's see here. I was looking up, trying to figure out, here we go, that there are about 128 MPs. These are Labour MPs, who are standing against Keir Starmer, and, what do they call? Are they calling it welfare reform? And let's see. I see here welfare bill, and then you're asking why there's a rebellion over it. And then there's also, let's see. So Starmer, the Prime Minister, wants to cut benefits. And so what my understanding is, they have to come up with a convoluted way. There is a way to cut benefits and save a lot of money, from what I understand, but his is basically going to go after the indigenous Brits. So, what I'm reading here is the system involves changes to PIP, and it's money given to people, including some who have extra care needs or mobility needs as a result of a disability. But let me ask you, and please speak up, Lawrence, Alan, any of you Brits that are watching, please speak up. Isn't the real problem with the welfare is the invaders, like those from Pakistan and everything, and their multiple wives, and they all get benefits for at least 2 children? Isn't that really the problem? And so what I read, I didn't see that they were addressing the fraud or anything, or these people who shouldn't even be in your country that are all getting benefits and everything, but they want to take it away from others, more like the indigenous who do have already problems, and they're going to be scored and all of that. But what the expression, the elephant in the room is staring at them, and they're not going to do anything about that? Isn't that always how they try to solve these problems? So, I'll give you a couple minutes. Please tell me what you think. Am I seeing it right? Yeah, Alan says the welfare payments have been exploited for some time, but your Prime Minister, Keir Starmer, his plan doesn't address that, does it? It's not addressing that. So, yeah, let me know what you think, because I'm just a stupid yank. I don't know any better, but that seems to be the real problem, is, you have all these invaders that came in and now are getting benefits, and they want to they want to cut, maybe some of it's scam, but they want to cut, what the people who you would think should be on those benefits instead. So, anybody else wants to say? What are your thoughts? Are you just so tired of all the crap that you see that it's just getting exhausting? So yeah, I kind of get that feeling too. When I interact with Brits, you're just so tired of all of it. But it's yeah. Let's see. It's very unclear. Okay, so it's one of those things they made it so difficult that no one understands. But there's 128 Labour MPs that apparently are gonna through something, through a vote or something, they're gonna probably make it not work, is what I understand. So the bill will probably go away. Is that what you understand? But just go after the fraud. Go after the clear fraud. You know? It's so sad to see the way things are going right now. So, I told you yesterday, unless somebody wants to chat about it, I told you yesterday, that I was gonna look up, the lady Santa Morte. It's not Morta, it's Lady Santa Morte, saint, the female saint of death, Our Lady of Death, in Mexico. And it is growing. So I did a little bit to look up, and I thought we'd talk about that a little. So, in the United States, a lot don't know about this either. In the Southwest, it's becoming more popular, especially in California, because it's being brought over with the Mexican illegals, bringing it over here. But one thing I discovered was there's been an undercurrent for a while, this female saint of death, and she ties back, and I'll show that too. She ties back to a female goddess, Aztec goddess of death. But let me start with this. I'll read a little bit to you, and I'll show you some pictures. So, she's called, let's see, Nuestra Senora de Santa Muerte. So, Our Lady, Saint of Death, basically, Our Lady of Holy Death. And often called Santa Muerte. And here, I'll put this in the chat. And let me know if things like this are interesting to you. Cause like I said, we don't always have to talk about politics. And I wanted to look more into it. So I'll post this Santa Muerte. Yeah, so Madonna Santa Muerte sounds like boo. Yes, there's some of that too. I'll talk about that. Cause there was not I had that in my notes here. There was something in 2007 that I saw again. And I was like, oh wow, I'd forgotten all about that. Let's see, Matamoros, a town just across the border in the U.S. But, and that particular thing did tie into, Santeria, you know, the voodoo cults. And another thing that's called in the island, like in Haiti it's called voodoo, but in the islands like Cuba and stuff, I think it's called Santeria. Let's see. And Alan says here, the welfare system needs reform, but this bill has been rushed and MPs are split and confused. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, I'll type in the whole name here, cause Lawrence being in Spain, I might understand it more. But it's not just the Santeria. It ties back to the Aztec goddess of death. And I'll go over that again. Oh, Lady Pip, hi. I told you yesterday I was gonna talk about Santa Muerte, and I'm just starting that. So here we go. I'm just talking about that today, and it has been rising. So let's see, I'll read a little bit to you. She's a new religious movement, female deity, folk Catholic saint, and folk Satan, Mexican Catholicism, and neo-paganism. She's a personification of that, but she's also associated with healing, protection, and safe delivery to the afterlife by her devotees. Despite condemnation by Catholic Church and even evangelical pastors, her cult has become increasingly prominent since the turn of the 21st century. Yeah, that's the big thing. So it has really started blooming in Mexico, all through Mexico. But the other thing I discovered is it has a lot to do with the drug cartel. And there's a way of life, and it has to do with the druggy, murdering, thug life of the Mexican cartels. They basically all worship her, and as you know, they are massively violent. So I believe that a lot of this, the way they kill people, they could just kill the people right out, but no, they have to torture them. So it all ties back into some of the Aztec beliefs. Trying to bring that back. Here, I want to show you some pictures. So what does anyone else say? Lady Pip, help me out with the week's labor vote or welfare report. And Lawrence says, they say it's a new religious movement. It has exploded in Mexico since the start of this century, the 2000s. So it's becoming stronger and stronger. Let me show you some pictures. And let's see here. Yeah, so in Mexico City, there's a shrine. I'll show you some pictures of that. If I didn't get good pictures, whoops, I gotta make my DLC player active again. Okay, alright. I don't think the Liver King practices this, but... So... Oh no, do I have the wrong picture? Let's see, that picture didn't work. I thought these pictures worked. Yeah, here we go. This is a picture of a shrine to her. Let's see what other pictures I got. Here's another. Yeah, this is supposed to be the one in Mexico City. And let's see. Here's another one. Yeah, but if you look at it, you can kind of see how they're kind of tying in the Virgin Mary of Catholicism, and also the Saint of Guadalupe. I forget what that's called. All I remember, let's see, she's real big, so and that was another like a Mary substitute, right? And there's weird things about that one too, the Virgin of Guadalupe. And so, yeah, if you look at that and notice the Christ next to the Santa Muerte, but I see that it's also like they're fusing in the Virgin Mary, Catholicism and the Virgin Mary. So Lawrence says, check out a movie called Rosario about Latin American cult, which integrate Caribbean voodoo and older religions. Yeah. But this probably brings some of that in, but probably has a lot to do with the Aztecs. What's really weird, let's say, oh, that didn't work either, that picture. I had a bunch of pictures, I thought they worked. Let's see what else I can find. I thought I tested this already. Oh, here's another. Whoops. I'll close this. And yeah, here's another picture. This might be a different shrine. Yeah. But the drug cartels, big time, and then it also has to do with a lifestyle, the drug cartel lifestyle in Mexico. So you'll have like the indigenous who worship her, But let's see. Here we go again. Oops. Let me go ahead. Get rid of that. Put that picture in here. So yeah, I wanted to show you some images. Lady Pip says, what can I do to help Alan? He needs help on the welfare boat. So yeah, let's see here. And what else do I have? I'm gonna get into, let's see, I'll get into why. Yeah, there's more. So you can buy these images. The government says they look down on it, but you can imagine there's probably a lot of practitioners in that government. Oh, here's a more traditional image. So yeah, can you see? Yeah, White Death. So yeah, and then you have occasions like the Day of the Dead already that have been going on in Mexico. And kind of brought into the Catholic Church. But what this is a, I'm going to try to put, it's a Nahuatl name, but this, what she actually probably is, and many of them refer to it, is she's the Aztec Lady of Death, a goddess called Miti-Casuatl. Very hard to pronounce. And I've got pictures of that. But what I find very interesting, and let me show you some pictures of the Aztec goddess of death. So this is her. White skin. She's part of all of that. And these drug people, they don't just kill you. There's stories about them flaying their victims before they kill them, flaying their skin. Just horrible stuff. So this is kind of why I'm talking about this stuff is coming back. And let's see. Lady Alan says, Lady Pip, your thoughts? 0 next week vote. And Warren says, Paolo. Maybe Creole religion in Rosario horror movie set in Hispanic New York. Pretty interesting religion, slightly derivative family horror. And then Alan's still talking about that, and he says, I think it should pass with amendments. Oh, thanks, Alan. So, you think the same thing's gonna, bill will pass, but they'll just change the formula or something? Let's see. That's a proto-Simpson. Tom says. Yeah, and let's see. So, that's an image of her. And it says, Lord Spirit, these folk have brought a culture of death to Roman Catholic culture. Indeed. Yeah. Oh, and here's a picture of, I think it's back in that sanctuary in Mexico City. But some of these people definitely look indigenous, like this gentleman down here in the blue. So it's kind of a way to, I believe, to bring back that. And the name Mexico means the Aztec. That's what they call themselves, the Mec. And I can't even say it the way they do. But that's, Aztec in their language, was Mexico. So that's where that name came from. But I have seen a big change in 30 years, maybe you can go 40 years. There was a time where you tried to call Mexican people Aztec. We're not those bloodthirsty people, because they were exterminated. But now, I see on the news all the time, festivals, whether it's in Mexico City or not, especially among the young leftists. No, we are Aztecs. Get all your European crap out of here, out of Mexico. We are Aztecs. So, they're openly calling themselves that. So, I think what you're seeing is a new, death cult. And so, yeah, I wanted to share this with you. And I also brought back, let's see, I told you about Cali. Now, this doesn't have anything to do with Hinduism, but just to show how this stuff is around the world. The goddess of Cali, this is an image of her. And this is often how she's portrayed. So, yeah, she'll have her tongue out, and let's see, if I make this image a little smaller, let's go back to here. Make this image a little smaller. She's usually, yeah, the bloody red tongue is out, and she's decapitated head she's holding in a hand, and victim, and always a victim. And this is the wife of Shiva, who is the main deity in Hindu religion. So, this isn't no false goddess or anything in your religion, so, or a made up one. So I thought I'd show that to you, because around the world, goddesses like this. And here she is again. Here she has a forked tongue, and again a victim, a sacrificial victim. So, but yeah, so it's becoming more and more prominent, and I'm even seeing more of it in like some California circles. I'll see that images like at the protests and stuff. So, and the way to worship the Aztec goddess was through blood sacrifices. So I believe a lot of what when you hear about the violence in Mexico, that that's coming back. And the leftists, of course, are right in on it. You know, we're Aztecs now. Well, so how do you prove you're an Aztec? You know, what's going to happen as that culture degrades? So I thought it was interesting. So I just wanted to follow up on that. I don't know if the rest of you found that interesting. But, and again, I'm not saying Cali is this, Lady of Death in Mexico. I'm just saying there's, all around the world in different religions, especially throughout history, there's been these kind of goddesses. So, and Lady Tip says, let's see. Alan says, I really don't think they will go through it. Okay. All right. That's interesting here. We're talking about the welfare reform. Lady Tip says, I bet they will delay it. And Lady Tip says, labor are on to borrowed time. Okay. What do you think, Lady Tip? Tell me. Does that still mean, 3 more years? Is that how long it is now? Because they won the election last year in July, right? So, will you still have to wait 3 whole years though? I don't know how else it's gonna happen. I just feel sorry for the whole situation that you're seeing in the UK right now. It just seems so dark. But yeah, let me know. Let me know, Alan, Lady Tip. Let me know about that. I don't mind having 2 different conversations going on. But did you find that interesting? Just talk, because I said a lot of people even in the United States don't know about this Lady Death. Basically, it's a cult. And you know, I believe it's, why it's so violent. Because that is who they worship in these cartels. Because, like I said, they've even turned it into a life culture where you, look at, you know, if you look into this. So, yeah, Lady Tip says history's really interesting. Yeah, it is. It is. It can be real bizarre too, but yeah, very interesting. But things tend to repeat especially when you get stupid people like leftists involved, when they don't understand what the hell they're talking about, when they're saying we are Aztec. You know, get your European garbage out of here. We're Aztec, you know. You wouldn't have seen that 30, 40 years ago. They would have denied that. You know, yeah, we took the name of the country, but we're not those bloodthirsty savages, but not anymore. So, you know, dark times are on the way. And let's see. Warren says the labor disability vote is facing a big rebellion from the left, but the Tories might support the vote. Okay. But again, not addressing the immigration abuse of welfare, right? I mean, isn't that the real problem? Okay. And Alan says, Lady Tip, I hope so. So, we'll see. Yeah, we'll see. Is there anything else that anyone would like to talk about? I didn't see too much for UK. I know there's more there. I just don't see it. But I didn't see much else. Let's see. Let me go back here. I saw about that sword attacker, who had, back in February, who had murdered a boy 14 and, with a sword, that was just going to school. I saw that he was found guilty. Will he get as much time as, here's a question. Will the sword attacker get as much time as Lucy Connolly's gonna get? I see she's still in prison. So, I'd like to know that. Let's see. Yeah, Alex and Lucy Connolly, yes. They're not addressing all these young people claiming sickness benefit due to anxiety. Yeah, that's a big scam, isn't it? You want to be less anxious? Get off your ass and go work and figure all that out and feed yourself. But yeah, it's all fraud, all a scam. If you can get away with it, so many people think, why not? So, let's see. British, but Spanish Brazilian. Alan says, okay. Yeah, that person's name? Yeah. I could look it up, but that was really weird. Tommy Robinson is giving interviews about Islamic terrorism in British prison and luxurious treatments of mass murderers with that religion. Yeah, Islam, yeah. The sword man. So, yeah, will he get as much time as Lucy Connolly, huh? Sheesh. That makes me so sad when I think of that poor lady. You know? Lady Tiff says, I feel so sorry for Lucy. Alex Duffield covered a story about her being beaten up by the Trizidos. Really? Oh, no. I have to look into that lady. Oh, no. Oh, it's just monstrous. Like I said, in a sane society, you know, what Lucy Connolly said, she would have been blocked on Twitter, and then everyone would have said how horrible she is, and that would have been it. In a sane society, and that would have been awful for her, I'm sure, in itself, but that would have been it. But she's in prison, and she still is in prison, and I don't hear many people talking about her. In a civilized society, and the other punishment would have been people could have told her how awful she was anytime she tried to post when she got back on social media. That would have been it. But, let's see. I have to look that up. Alex Duffield, okay. She's a great warrior, Lucy C. She'll be an icon when she gets out like Tommy. She has been moved to a new prison. Well, can you tell me what security level? Is it a higher, lower, or is it the same, but just a different prison because of how she was being treated? Please explain it to me. I don't know. So Warren says, strange that those two have part Irish roots, but they are leading the charge for English nationalism. Well, they didn't have a choice, did they? Like Lucy, she didn't have a choice. I don't know. Can I say something? Be rude? I don't think you Brits are talking about her enough. I really don't. I'm just shocked. And also, my video, it didn't get many views. You know, I tried to post it all over, not just to get views for myself, but to see if I get some kind of reaction. And, you know, I make pay up, biatch, and everyone loves that video, right? You know, it's of 3 different videos, it's got the second most views I ever got of any video. But Lucy Connolly video, again, you know, well, not just for I was hoping it would raise awareness or that Brits would get behind it, you know, for the sake of it, telling the story and everything. Nah, it hasn't done well at all. So, I'm sorry if that offends you, but that's how I kind of feel. Really upsets me. So, I know, I'm just a Yank. I know, I'm just a Yank. So, and Lady Tiff says, don't know. Is that true? Is that true, Tom? Wow. I think that they moved her into a cell that someone just died in. And there's human poop in it. Oh. Yeah. Stuff like that is done to torture somebody. Yeah. Oh, you think you're all too good for us, Lucy? That's from the guards. You know, let's face it, prison guards don't exactly come from the highest strata of your society. So that's sending a message, and it's a political message. That's what happened. Oh, man. Lawrence says, my friends think she's not even in prison, but was set up as a patsy, a big distraction from the riots. Well, she is suffering. You know, she is suffering. That's sad. It's sad, that kind of thinking. Yeah, or that's really disturbing. That's really disturbing. That kind of thinking. Really, doesn't it seem so shabby? That's the best word I can use, shabby. Kind of cowardly. You know, she just, we'll just ignore her because we think she's a patsy in her mind. So easy. Alan says, Richard Tights visited her yesterday and reports his bruises. Won't it be so sad? Oh, no. I'll see if I can find the story. Oh, yes, please. I guess when we end the stream, I'll play that out, but, You're trying to break her. What, just make her? What do you mean, Lady Pip? How did they break her? You know, did they just make her go crazy and then they claim they won because now she's back, you know, totally bonkers or something? Is that breaking her? What can she, you know, I don't get it. I bet a lot of it has to do, if it's the guards, it has to do with her being from a higher class than they are. So, Prison guards are bought off by the Muslim Brotherhood. So do you think because she was against the Muslims coming to the UK and she was all upset about that they're paying to have her basically tortured? I can see that. Yeah, I can see that. Right? You know? So, and Alan says, I have it, but it's a bit long to convey on here. Okay. And Lady Tiff says she is in prison. She has a prison number, and anyone can get it and write to her. Okay. All right. Thanks, Lady Tiff. That's good. Yeah, breakdown. Yeah, okay, yeah. That's what you think, Lady Tiff. They want to break her mind. Wow. But yeah, I bet between the Muslims and the guards and yeah. Real ugly. But like I said, in a civilized world, she would not be in prison for this. Like I said, the internet could have taken care of her. Now would have been more than enough. Oh, it's so tragic. So, let's see, is there anything else anyone would like to talk about? I'll give you a few moments here. Yeah. Now, what I'll do is I'll start looking for the Lucy Connolly song. Oh, Tom has. I'm gonna go ahead. And Tom's DM me, so share the post. Yo. Oh. Okay. So yeah, it's I'll just read it to you. This is an X post. I don't see the story itself, but Basil the Great on X says, Lucy Connolly attacked by prison staff. Lucy was told to move to a different wing into a dirty cell covered with excrement where a former prisoner had died. When she asked why she was beaten, then refused food. And then she's now covered in bruises. She has been warned not to speak about anything. Then, before she is released, there are not other words for this. Lucy is being tortured by the British state. Oh. And okay, so here's a video. So, okay, let's play the video. Oh, this is so sad. Let's see, or can I, let me see, can I play the video? Sometimes you can't. Yeah, I can download this video.
I am disgusted to report.
Let me download it. I'll save it here. Just give me a moment. Lucy, you call this Lucy? Okay. Alright, let me find my folder now. Hey, let me make this live. Oh. Boy, this is just so disturbing.
I am disgusted to report today that Britain's...
Let me give us a moment for this to come up on my DLC. Come on, play. Oh, maybe I have another instant. Let's try this again.
I am disgusted to report today that Britain's political prisoner Lucy Connolly, the grieving mother locked up for 31 months...
Yeah, there we go. I'll start it again. I'm glad they're saying political prisoner.
To report today that Britain's political prisoner Lucy Connolly, the grieving mother locked up for 31 months for a singular X post later deleted on the day of the triggering Southport massacre, has been attacked behind bars by the prison staff who are meant to be protecting her. As you know, Outspoken has led the campaign against this very real miscarriage of justice, raising awareness about Britain's political prisoners and pushing back on that warped MSM narrative that Lucy was some sort of racist ne'er-do-well attempting to sow public discord. Indeed, the opposite is true. Lucy is a patriotic caregiver to young families of all nationalities who, like so many of us, opposes the mass, uncontrolled immigration and illegal invasion via the Channel, putting Brits at risk from scum like that guy, Axel Rudagabana. But the British deep state is furious that thanks to the campaign led here in the independent media and by the brilliant Alison Pearson in the Daily Telegraph, Lucy Connolly's case now shames Britain on a global stage. So they intend to not only continue the persecution of Lucy, but terrify her. I can reveal today that Lucy Connolly has been warned about staying silent upon her release, for example. And last Thursday, she was subjected to the most disgusting treatment behind bars at HMP Peterborough, where she was told unexpectedly that she would have to move to a different wing into a dirty cell covered in feces where someone had recently died. Now, this was a unit designated for the most violent prisoners in the jail. It is a unit where she would have been locked up, or she is locked up, for 23 hours a day. Now, Lucy, who is a gentle, a lovely soul, when she questioned this move, it was immediately interpreted as her refusing to go. And she was dealt with in an extremely forceful manner. Indeed, the attack by the prison authorities has left her covered in bruises. Now remember, this is a woman who was in jail not for any violent crime, but for posting one tweet that she deleted within hours. Now, I've held off reporting this news until today because I knew that Reform UK Deputy Leader Richard Tice had agreed to visit Lucy behind bars in order to survey her injuries for himself. And he can confirm the story. Having met with Lucy today, he has gone public to claim she has been manhandled without provocation, handcuffed, and stripped of privileges by prison authorities in a politically motivated attack designed to provoke a response from Connolly. Now, this is exactly what Tice has said this afternoon. Let me take you through it. 5 days after the incident, the bruises on her wrist are still significant, yellow. It was obviously horrible what she went through. On Thursday, she was manhandled, mistreated with no provocation. She was mistreated, no question about it. In the hours after her removal to the new wing, she was starved, not given lunch or dinner, no food. She was denied enhanced accommodation to which she was entitled, and they gave her, frankly, the nutter's wild wing, druggies, violence. Richard Tice goes on to say, you have to think it's politically motivated. I think the next few weeks before her release are going to be very challenging, worrying. I think it would suit the authorities to want to provoke a violent reaction from Lucy. I told Lucy to be very careful.
Oh no. Oh. So sad. I just have nothing to say. It's so terrible. So, Brian, thank you so much. If you'd like to write Lucy Connolly, that's a wonderful place. He gives you the exact address. And Warren says, I'll pray for Lucy. I lost another old family member this week on the Irish side. Oh, sorry to hear that, Lawrence. Hope you get the comfort you need. So, lady tips, thanks, Brian. Yes, thank you so much. And Brian says, lady tip, you're welcome. But, just man's inhumanity to the fellow mankind, you know? It's just horrible. For an ex-post. This is for an ex-post, people. This is the UK, the United Kingdom. You can't say any more about this garbage. It's just, well, I'm just so sad. I can't say. Oh, boy. Is there anything else that anyone else would like to share? Maybe about Lucy? Brian says, Bella, you're not an evil vampire. For raising this, you're a work for good. Oh, I'm quite evil, but I got a lot of competition. I wouldn't want to imprison somebody for an ex-post. Jeez, just the level, just the level of varying evil and stuff, and there's already people that are well on the road to evil that you could have fun with, if you're in my persuasion. You don't have to go after a mother, stick her in prison for an ex-post. Wow. Sometimes it's just shocking. how evil men can be. So, well, okay. Well, why don't I do this? Why don't I, okay, let me find the song, and we'll call it a day, and I'll go ahead and play, let's see, I'll play the Ballad of Lucy Connolly, if I can find it here. Oh. Lady Tech says this is when what happens when evil people are in charge. Yeah, I hate to tell you, I'm kind of one of those people that thinks evil resides in all people. But I would say this is what happens when you give evil people power. And you notice they end up making schemes like socialism, where they end up running your lives and they enslave you, and instead of being your servants, they're your masters. Well, so because people are evil and they want what other people have, so they want welfare, they want the government to take care of them, and the government should not be be doing that in the first place. So you just get more and more decay, and so I think everyone needs to look in the mirror in the end, but that's just me, because I think you have to protect yourselves against what's in the hearts of all mankind, you know. Even your saints, I don't believe your saints are real, also, well, let's see, and Alex says play us out, and take care. Yeah, I got the song here, so I'll be playing us out with that. And Brian says, and on a lighter note, news for today, I cleaned the roof and window on the conservatory today. Pretty low-key, but compared with the reporting news of political prisoners. Well, thank you, Brian. That was lovely that you did that. Most lovely indeed. So, okay. I thank you all for being here, and it isn't for views, so, share this one video. I was hoping it would do so much better, and again, not for views, because I thought I did a very good job of telling Lucy's plight, and I wanted to make it a point back then when I created. She's a political prisoner. There's nothing else to it, you know. In the UK, you have your political prisoners. So, and of course, January 8th in the US, we had our political prisoners. But, alright, here it is. So, have a wonderful evening, folks. All of you, thank you for joining me so much. Thank you.
In a quiet town where the heartland grieves, Lucy Connolly cared for kids with love up her sleeves. A mother, a wife, with a heart full of pain, lost a boy to neglect, and it scarred her like rain. On a day dark with sorrow, Southport's children fell. Her anger spilled out in a moment of hell. A post on the X raw with fury and fear, deleted in hours, but the Lord didn't care. Oh, the gavel falls hard on a mother's plea, while killers walk free under Starmer's decree. Judges turn a blind eye, oh, they so very hate thee. You know, a corrupt regime. When its political prisoner is a mother, they won't free. 31 months in a cell she's confined, for words in a flash from a heartbroken mind. No riots, no violence, just a post gone astray. Yet the judges lock tight and they throw her away. Meanwhile the guilty with blood on their hands, murders, abusers, roam free across the land. Starmer's justice, it bends for the ones who do worse, while Lucy's left broken in a system perverse. Oh, the gavel falls hard on a mother's plea, while killers walk free under Starmer's decree. Judges turn a blind eye, oh, they so very hate thee. You know, a corrupt regime. When its political prisoner is a mother, they won't free. Her daughter waits nightly for a letter assigned. Her husband grows weaker with no The law calls her danger for words she erased, but lets out the monsters with no shame, no disgrace. Two-tiered and twisted, this justice they claim points fingers at Lucy to fan their own flame. A scapegoat for speaking in a land once so free. Her story's a warning for you and for me. Oh, the gavel falls hard on a mother's plea, while killers walk free under Starmer's decree. Judges turn a blind eye, oh, they so very hate thee. You know, a corrupt regime. When its political prisoner is a mother, they won't free. From Draco's cold wall, she cries out in vain. A mother, no menace, yet they tighten the chain. Her crime was her anger, her grief uncontained, while the system protects those who've sinned and who've maimed. Oh, rise up, good people, let her story be heard. A nation's injustice in every harsh word. For Lucy's not alone in this cage they've designed. Free speech is the cost of a state out of line. Oh, the gavel falls hard on a mother's plea, while killers walk free under Starmer's decree. Judges turn a blind eye, oh, they so very hate thee. You know, a corrupt regime. When its political prisoner is a mother, they won't free. So sing for Lucy Connolly and all those betrayed by a system that punishes words, not the blade. Her daughter still waits for the day she'll be near, in a land where the truth is drowned out by fear.